In this video, we will talk about Bhangarh Fort Real Experience, real horror story of Bhangarh Fort. Rajasthan is well known for its forts, deserts, and royalty. But while you're enthralled with the breathtaking grandeur and beauty of its forts and palaces, which are still utterly delightful, there's one location that has the power to alter everything. The most crazily haunted place in India is Bhangarh Fort. Forget about Pushkar, Jaipur, Udaipur, or Jodhpur. Subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Here we go. The princely state of India's Alwar district is home to Bhangarh Fort. Bhangarh Fort is definitely not for the faint of heart, as it is located on the edge of the well-known Sariska Tiger Reserve in the region. Considered among the most haunted places in India and the globe, the story alone is enough to give you chills. Don't even try to catch a sight. The history of the Bhangarh Fort begins when it was constructed in Rajasthan during the 17th century. Though most people know it as the most haunted place in India, Bhangarh was once a thriving town. Bhangarh Fort was originally a magnificent and formidable structure, constructed in the 17th century for his son, Man Singh I, by Madho Singh, one of the 9 Ratnas of Emperor Akbar's court. Before it was supposedly abandoned overnight, Bhangarh was home to more than 10,000 people. Unsettling. This magnificent 400-year-old building, now in ruins, along with the entire community surrounding it, owe their current state to the tragic Bhangarh story, which sealed their doom. Whether you believe in curses and predictions or not, this is the spooky story of Bhangarh's impending destruction. According to mythology, a strong ascetic by the name of Guru Balu Nath originally resided on the site where Bhangarh Fort now stands. Thus, Madho Singh took care to obtain his consent before building the fort, and he was even given it, but with one caveat. The ascetic set a requirement that if the fort's shadow ever touched his house, a terrible catastrophe would occur. Unfortunately, an aspirational Madho Singh's successor disregarded the advice and strengthened Bhangarh Fort with taller walls. Consequently, the ascetic's house was overtaken by the shadow, and the entire town of Bhangarh was cursed in response. Here's another story about Bhangarh that tells the terrifying narrative of another Bhangarh's demise. According to legend, there once was a princess of Bhangarh by the name of Ratnavati, and she was said to be incredibly attractive. A necromancer in the area was mesmerized by her breathtaking beauty and fell in love with her. He cast a sorceress spell on the massage oil the princess was meant to use in order to obtain her. Before his shady scheme could be executed, Princess Ratnavati smelled his deceit and poured the oil laced with magic onto a massive boulder nearby. At this point, the town of Bhangarh Fort's doomsday clock was set to countdown. The boulder crushed the tantric to death as a result of the dark magic's action. But before he passed away, he cursed Bhangarh, the whole town, to gradually become completely desolate like him, as it was overcome by sadness and despair. His terrifying final remarks were confirmed the following year when the Bhangarh monarch was soundly defeated by an opponent. His entire army was destroyed, and the people of Bhangarh were all slaughtered in cold blood. Although the princess's fate remains unknown, rumor has it that she was sentenced to wander the Bhangarh precincts lost in time. It is stated that during the night, all of the inhabitants of Bhangarh can still be heard in Bhangarh Fort. They are condemned to remain in this world, never to escape its chilly surroundings, restless and forlorn. Even while haunted isn't printed in neon on the site's information boards, the Archaeological Survey of India's ASI persistent insistence that visitors depart before dusk suggests something. It is often stated on the signs that it is forbidden to remain in the Bhangarh area before sunrise and after nightfall. The precaution was necessary because there have been several reports of people becoming lost and even dying in the area. Foreigners are not allowed to enter Bhangarh Fort. As strange as it may seem, Bhangarh Kila may be the only tourist destination in India where international visitors are not allowed to enter without permission. To enter the premises and Bhangarh Fort, they must get a specific permit. Not only is the story of Bhangarh Fort noteworthy, but a significant portion of the tourists that get lost in the area are foreigners, which infuriated government officials since they disregarded the regulations and prompted them to take harsh action. There seems to be no end to the mysteries surrounding Bhangarh. You'll see what we mean when you visit this creepy location in Rajasthan. All the houses in the area have no roofs. Indeed, hardly a single house has a fully functional roof. It is widely believed that the sage who cursed the town to its final ruin is to blame. The locals claim that it is difficult to build a roof on these dwellings because, once one is created, it falls, killing numerous people in the past. This is one more terrifying fact regarding the history of the Bhangarh Fort. You might be relieved to learn that the Bhangarh Fort vicinity contains approximately 6 temples, providing a small respite from the area's overall eerie atmosphere. These modest, historic temples honor a variety of Hindu deities, such as Lord Hanuman, Keshavrai, Lord Gopinath, Mangala Devi, and others. Numerous sages and priests have been to Bhangarh in the hopes of lifting the region's ill fate, but naturally to no avail. The temples in the area are said to extinguish a spiritual aura, and the region's mythical curse has also drawn them. Considerable archaeological value can be attributed to the area. It is possible that the captivating Bhangarh Fort haunted story was a factor in the region's ascent to fame, yet there is unquestionably a great deal more to it than that. Despite the fact that Bhangarh is widely believed to be a center of paranormal activity, it is also the location of a number of archaeologically significant findings that were made by a few archaeologists who had the good fortune to visit the area. A number of stone paintings, artifacts, and sculptures that were created by the early people who lived in the area have reportedly been discovered, as stated by the individuals. It has also been discovered that there are natural springs and even waterfalls in the vicinity of the Lord Sumchwar Temple, which is located adjacent to the Bhangarh Fort. The residents of Bhangarh Fort credit the awful misfortunes that have occurred throughout the fort's history to the fact that it is filled with nothing but great sorrow and agony. During the evening hours, the villagers recount the story of 3 courageous individuals who made the decision to stay on the premises of the Bhangarh Fort. One of the 3 guys ended up falling down a deep hole, despite the fact that he was carrying a torch with him. Thankfully, his friends arrived in a hurry to save him and transport him to the hospital so that he could receive medical attention. However, as luck would have it, all 3 of them were killed in a peculiar vehicle accident shortly after their arrival. There was another incident in which a group of friends who were going on a sightseeing tour in Bhangarh observed what appeared to be the apparition of a boy in a house that had a grilled window instead of a door. This was reported by the locals. In this region, a great number of stories similar to this one are well known or are believed to be authentic. What are your thoughts on this matter? Should we believe it or not? If you want to find out for yourself, you might want to consider using one of these amazing Rajasthan vacation packages. No one is allowed to spend the night within the Bhangarh Fort. This is a strict prohibition. In Bhangarh, the ASI has posted warning signs in a number of different sites, advising residents not to linger on the property after dusk and to leave before morning. It is possible to hear strange noises coming from within the grounds of the fort at night, and the atmosphere appears to be uncomfortably oppressive. The closed gates are said to be haunted by spirits during these hours, and there is a considerable amount of paranormal activity that is said to be occurring. There has never been a single person who has attempted to stay behind in the fort or around it after dark who has ever returned to tell the story, if the people who live there are to be believed. That's all for today from our side. Let us know if you visited Bhangarh Fort ever. Take care and stay safe.